Well, it is so nice to be here with all of you tonight, especially after the full day you all had out there. For those that I haven't met, my name is Sabrina Lippman, and I have the privilege of serving as the CEO for Habitat for Humanity, New York City and Westchester County. Thank you. I've actually been thinking about this all day as I've seen all of you out on that course. There's something about a day like today, right? Where you feel grounded, you feel connected, meeting good people and being with one another, kind of feeling like you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And in a lot of ways, that's what Habitat does. We're trying to create that for more people across this region and honestly across the globe. Today, we are so blessed to be joined by our partners at Habitat for Humanity International, who are celebrating 50 years of building around the globe. So before we go further, I want to extend my thank you to Habitat for Humanity International and to all of our sponsors. Our national partner, Lowe's, thank you so much for being here. The Morse Family Foundation, JDP Mechanical, our very dear friends at Crossgower, and Hallmark International, and to all of the incredible supporters that are here. Thank you. We are so grateful that you're with us in this work, because the reality is there are teachers, there are first responders, there are young professionals, people doing everything right who do not have a real path to own a home in the communities that they serve. Not because they didn't work hard enough, not because they made the wrong choices, but because that path, the one many of us grew up assuming that would always be there, is getting harder and harder to access. And when that happens, it doesn't just affect those families, it affects all of us. And so that is where Habitat steps in. We build and sell permanently affordable homes for working families. We help people stay in the homes that they love. We provide the financing and the support to keep those communities stable, and we advocate for common sense housing solutions. And what that really means is we're creating real, practical, lasting pathways to homeownership. Because at Habitat, we say home is the key. You may have seen that around. It is the key. It is the key to stability. It is the key to opportunity. It is the key to being able to stay, to grow, to build something that actually lasts. And I want you to know, we're not talking about this in theory. Right now, as we speak, in this region, in the 5 boroughs and in the county of Westchester, we are building 400 homes that are currently in our development pipeline. That is the most at any point in our history. It doesn't stop there. This past year alone, we saved more than 2,000 families from being displaced from the homes that they love. And many of those were low-income seniors right here in our backyard in Westchester. These are real families. These are real projects. This is real momentum. But to do this at the scale that this moment demands, we need partners. We need people like you. People who understand how to build, how to invest, how to move things forward. We can't sit on the sidelines. We can't wait for someone else to come in and make it happen. The people we are waiting for are ourselves. That's who makes it happen. That is how we are going to get this done. So truly, thank you. Thank you for being here, for being a part of this. Tonight, you're going to hear from 3 remarkable individuals who push this work forward every day. We are so grateful to be joined by our Westchester County Executive, Jenkins, the indomitable Tim Foley, the CEO of the Building and Realty Institute of Westchester and Mid-Hudson Region. And now it is my true honor and privilege to introduce my dear friend and the Senior Vice President for US and Canada at Habitat for Humanity International, Adrienne Goolsby.
Good evening. Good evening. Oh, I know we can do better than that. Good evening. Good evening. I am so thrilled to be here with you today, here in Scarsdale on this wonderful, beautiful day to celebrate one of our key initiatives, Home is the Key. A home is the foundation on which we build our lives, and it is the cornerstone to strong and vibrant communities. Yet the door to a safe, decent, and affordable home remains closed for millions of families each and every day across the U.S. Earlier this month, Habitat for Humanity kicked off its 10th annual awareness and fundraising initiative, Home is the Key, and it coincides with National Fair Housing Month. Home is the Key calls attention to the need for affordable housing and encourages everyone to help open the door to equitable home ownership across the U.S. Since launching in 2017, the initiative has raised more than $16 million to help fund housing affordability across the U.S. But as Sabrina stated, Habitat also recently kicked off its global awareness campaign. Let's open the door, right down the road at Garibaldi Plaza in New York City. This campaign brings awareness of the global housing crisis, the conundrum that we're in day to day, and it highlights the opportunities an open door can mean for all families and individuals. As the first U.S. activation in this global campaign, Home is the Key brings that urgency about home by focusing U.S. families increasingly locked out of housing affordability. As we celebrate Habitat's 50th year of service to this mission and our 10th annual Home is the Key initiative with local Habitat affiliates, such as this wonderful one right here today, we want to thank Home is the Key sponsors. We want to thank Lowe's, Blizzard Entertainment, Colgate-Palmolive, and iHeartMedia community leaders and supporters like each and every one of you who are opening the doors to equitable homes, who are opening the doors to home ownership, who are opening the doors to building stronger communities so that we can all live together and understand that the key to a wonderful foundation is a home. We thank you for supporting Habitat for New York City and Westchester County in this Home is the Key initiative, and we thank you for always coming together to support this affiliate. It's my honor, though, today to introduce Tim Foley, who is the CEO and Executive Vice President of Building and Realty Institute of Westchester and the Mid-Hudson Region, to the stage. He's the co-founder of Welcome Home Westchester and is a staunch advocate for affordable housing, which includes supporting the legalization of ADUs in Westchester and in Habitat New York City and Westchester's +1 ADU program. So we could welcome Tim to the stage. Tim.
So good evening, everyone. So I've been asked to do a couple of things. I've been asked not just to segue gracefully into our next guest, but also to provide some context to help those of you who may be unfamiliar with Westchester to understand the difference between the Westchester of old and the Westchester of today when it comes to building the housing that we need. We have a Westchester that is home to 1 million residents, and really we have it all. We have leafy suburbs, just look outside the window, but we also have dense urban centers. We also have rural communities. Though we have some extremely affluent communities, we also have middle and working class families throughout the county and areas where our residents are really struggling financially. And unfortunately, we have a long history of exclusionary zoning and NIMBY anti-housing sentiment And in fact, I was just recently watching a documentary about a particular Westchester community in the 1920s and was stunned to see a real estate advertisement in the newspaper at that time for a particular community where the headline quite literally read, "Restrictive covenants? We've got them." Happy Fair Housing Month, everybody. So to be clear, we have 43 different municipalities, and some of those throughout that intervening time found ways to add to their housing stock, particularly in their downtown areas. But even then, too often that progress was met with oppositional neighborhood defenders. Whatever was being proposed, they wanted to stop it, slow it, or cut it in half. Many of them had the means to use the courts or to weaponize processes like environmental review or push for even tighter zoning that emphasized only single-family homes. Well, what happened was no surprise to anyone who's even passingly familiar with the basic economic laws of supply and demand. With high demand and low supply, prices and home values went up. This was great for existing residents who might sell their homes 10 or 20 years down the road, but it meant that many communities became highly segregated, and it was quite obvious in housing terms who were the haves and who were the have-nots. The numbers speak for themselves. For the first 2 decades of the 2000s, Westchester was among the lowest counties in the greater New York City area in terms of new units of housing being built for 1,000 people. And all I can say is, by rights, it probably should have been a little bit worse. But at least we had Long Island out there making us look good. But the Westchester of the past 7 years represents a clean break from past history. Many Westchester communities have evolved into a hub of pro-housing innovation and activity. The city of New Rochelle led the way with local permitting reforms and innovation that yielded 32 projects, totaling nearly 7,000 units of housing that have been approved, are under construction, or have already been built. New Rochelle's success was soon followed by peer cities Yonkers and White Plains. The village of Portchester more explicitly followed New Rochelle's example, and that has led to the approval of nearly 6,000 units of housing, including 1,000 alone at what's being called Westchester Crossing, the old United Hospital site, which began its construction and its groundbreaking just last week. Across the county, there's been a growing acknowledgement that all of our municipalities, not just cities, had a role to play. And all this realization was driven not just by the policy think tanks or the academics or the advocates like me. It was driven by our elected leadership. In 2019, the Westchester County Planning Department and the Westchester County Executive's offices released a seminal housing needs assessment, a comprehensive look at who has housing, who does not, who owns, who rents, and the demographic breakdowns of the county, including an individual municipal profile for every one of the 43 communities in Westchester. And the housing needs assessment, in fact, put a number on what was then the present day need for new units of affordable housing at 11,703. So all of a sudden, we had a goal and a number that was carrying everybody's attention. County staff devoted a lot of time and energy going municipality by municipality to drive home the urgent need to address our housing shortage. But county government also quite literally put its money where its mouth was by over that time quadrupling, that's right, quadrupling the amount it was spending to support the building of affordable housing. And although NIMBYs are alive and well in Westchester and have even been joined by bananas, build absolutely nothing anywhere near anyone, as well as a new breed of cave people, citizens against virtually everything. There are now some in the community countervailing voices who are willing to proclaim, yes, in my backyard. And my own organization, the BRI, was one of the founding partners of the Welcome Home Westchester campaign, a true multi-stakeholder effort that combines companies involved in home building with economic leaders like the Westchester County Association and nonprofit Westchester, academics and think tanks, organizations dedicated to ending homelessness and supporting families in need, faith leaders and climate activists coming together to drive forward a new conversation around building the housing we need, particularly affordable housing. And I want to thank Habitat for Humanity, NYC and Westchester for being a member of our policy advisory committee for this campaign from day one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So where are we today? Well, as Bill Parcells famously said, you are what your record says you are. And what's that record? We have seen a surge in housing production since 2021. According to a report by R.M. Friedland, 12,500 residential units have been delivered, and another 15,000 units are today in the pipeline and under construction. Now, to be clear, we have a long way to go. That is a good start, but it has not begun to ameliorate other trends that continue to push housing prices ever upward. The county topped 1 million residents for the first time, which was great. It was the only county in the Hudson Valley that experienced population growth and at a faster rate of population growth than New York State as a whole, but this has helped contribute to a historically tight housing market and stubbornly high costs, particularly for home ownership. According to One Key MLS, the median sales price for a single-family home at the end of 2025 was $980,000. And that alone was an 8.95% year-over-year increase, just 1 year. There continues to be no city, town, or village in all of Westchester where the market rate rent for a two-bedroom apartment is affordable to those earning the local hourly renter wage. So we have a lot of work to do. But one of our greatest strengths for our county is that we are led by a county executive who has not only been witness to this history, but has played an active role in turning the Westchester story on housing on its head. County Executive Ken Jenkins took office in January 2025 as the 10th county executive. Ken is the first Black county executive in Westchester history. And before this historic role, Ken served as deputy county executive under George Latimer, where he played a key role in advancing countywide initiatives, including everything I just mentioned. The release of the Call to Arms Housing Needs Assessment in 2019, and the quadrupling of funding towards affordable housing in the county budget. Prior to serving as the deputy county executive, he was a distinguished member of the Westchester County Board of Legislators, serving 4 years as chairman and championing policies that shaped the region's growth and inclusivity. Those of us who are working every day to build the housing that Westchester needs and ensure that Westchester is a welcoming and accessible community for all who wish to call it home, including through the construction of homes of all shapes, sizes, and price points, to all of our benefit, are proud to call him our leader, an ally, and a good friend. Ladies and gentlemen, Westchester County Executive Ken Jenkins.
We're working towards a Westchester that's open, inclusive, and in reach. Today is about building this new legacy around housing. A county that says yes to housing, yes to every opportunity, yes to inclusion, yes to home ownership, yes to families who want to stay, and to those who want to come here and build a life. And if we're serious about that future, we must continue to think and act boldly. That means advancing legislation like the Faith-Based Affordable Housing Act, empowering faith-based organizations to turn underutilized land into affordable homes in their communities. It means supporting accessory dwelling units, ADUs, and encouraging those municipalities to adopt local incentives like the 421p tax abatement so homeowners can be part of that solution. It means smart reforms like the Environmental Reform Act, where appropriate, streamlining those approvals and making it easier, not harder, to build the housing our residents need. It means calling on every municipality to take a more proactive, pro-housing approach and to partner more closely with organizations like Habitat. If we do this, every community is going to benefit when housing is attainable. Every downtown benefits when workers can live nearby. Every school district benefits when families can stay rooted. And every neighborhood benefits when people have the chance to belong. And we're always going to be stronger when we work together.